Hello there, many thanks for joining us on today's edition of Razep Africa. As usual, we are here to give you all you need to know about what's important happening across this beautiful continent we call Africa. And today, the African News Update, we begin in Tanzania, where President Samia Suluhu Hassan has ordered government officials to travel in a single bus during official trips to reduce fuel consumption, as shortages linked to the Middle East conflict push prices higher. The directive also includes scaling down the presidential motorcade, which typically involves more than 30 vehicles in a bid to conserve fuel and cut public spending. Authorities say fuel prices in the country have surged by about one-third since March, placing pressure on households and businesses. The government says that the measure is intended to set an example as several African nations adopt austerity steps to manage supply disruptions tied to instability in global oil shipping routes. And in Nigeria, authorities have begun the mass trial of more than 500 people accused of involvement in terrorism-related offenses. The suspects face charges including aiding and abetting militant groups, particularly in the country's northeast, where Boko Haram launched its insurgency nearly 2 decades ago. The trial opened at a high court in Abuja with 227 suspects arraigned before multiple judges. Officials say the move marks one of the country's largest terrorism prosecutions as insecurity continues to spread to other regions. The development comes amid fresh violence, with gunmen reportedly killing at least 20 people in Niger State, highlighting ongoing security concerns. Turning to diplomacy, South Africa has formally received the credentials of the new United States Ambassador, Brent Bozell, in what officials describe as a step towards easing strained relations. The ceremony in Pretoria comes after months of tension over policy agreement and public remarks by both sides. President Cyril Ramaphosa emphasizes the need for diplomats to respect sovereignty and use constructive engagement, while the envoy pledged to strengthen cooperation and shared interest. The appointment signals a potential reset in relations between the two countries. That fragile relationship has also been tested by migration policy, with nearly 5,000 white Afrikaners relocating to the United States under a refugee program introduced by Washington. The initiative is based on claims that the minority group faces persecution, allegations strongly rejected by the South African government. Pretoria insists crime affects all communities and says empowerment policies are meant to address apartheid-era inequalities. The relocation program has further complicated diplomatic ties already strained by political and legal disagreement. In West Africa, protests have taken place in Senegal over rising living costs and a deepening debt crisis. Workers, union members, and opposition supporters marched in Dakar, accusing the government of failing to deliver on promises relating to wages and working conditions. Authorities say the country's heavy debt burden limits spending, even as reforms aimed at economic recovery continues. Protesters have, however, argued that the economic situation is worsening, with some calling for the resignation of Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko. In the Horn of Africa, Djibouti's President Ismail Omar Guelleh is widely expected to secure a 6th term in Friday's presidential election. The long-serving leader faces a single challenger, with opposition groups largely sidelined in the race. Guelleh has ruled a strategically located nation since 1999, positioning it as a major military and shipping hub, hosting foreign bases. Critics accuse the government of restricting dissent, while supporters say continuity is key to stability in the region. And finally, Ethiopia has extended the mandate of the interim administration in the Tigray region by a year. raising uncertainty over election planned for June. The decision comes as the region continues to recover from the devastating conflict that ended in 2022. Officials say the delay reflects ongoing displacement and security concerns, with millions yet to return home. The extension also comes amid renewed tensions along regional borders, fueling fears of possible instability. That's it for the African News Update this morning.